Hey guys, it's Ellie. So in today's video, I thought it'd be really fun if we reacted to Google's top searches about blind people. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so looking up here, our first question is, do blind people see black? Considering that blind people can't see, I would assume that they see nothing. But, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, then how do you describe nothing? I guess black is a good term to use, but then again, some blind people have light perception. What do blind people who have light perception see? Good question. I guess that leads us on to number 2. Alright, so question number 2 is actually pretty similar to number 1. It's what do blind people see? You know, I think it also depends on if we're using blind to describe someone who's visually impaired or if we're using blind to describe someone with absolute blindness. I would say it just depends on the vision. So for me, I'm visually impaired, so I can see quite a bit, but my friends who have absolute blindness don't really see anything. Let's go ahead and go into our next question here. Alright, so number 3 is actually something that's very interesting to me, and I don't know where this necessarily comes from on sighted people's perspective, but it's, do blind people see in their dreams? I'm gonna use this from my own personal perspective. You know, I just don't really have a vivid imagination in general, which I think a lot of, you know, your dreaming is actually tied to that, as well as your emotional state within your dream. So I don't really have vivid dreams, nor do I usually remember my dreams right as I wake up. Of course, that can usually be fixed with a dream journal and all of that fun stuff, but personally, I don't necessarily see in my dreams, but that doesn't mean I don't have dreams where I imagine objects. I know something's there. I don't necessarily see it, but I don't think absolute blind people do see in their dreams since they're blind and they don't really have any sense of what the world looks like. So they have the sounds and maybe the feel of it in their dreams. This is a really interesting question, and if you are absolutely blind and you can see in your dreams, let me know. Maybe it's also a thing on light perception. So speaking of light perception, let's go into our next question here. All right, so our last question here is, can a blind person ever see again? And you know, I think this is a really good question because it comes from a place of genuine thought and, you know, concern. Thank you. I'd like to have perfect vision one day, but unless there is a surgery that really can help a nystagmus, no, I can't have 20/20 vision. Maybe that's some sort of surgery that someone else can have that I can't have. For me, I can't have perfect vision, and it's definitely a case-by-case scenario, but typically if you're blind, your vision doesn't usually come back. So like I said, it's a case-by-case scenario though. So yeah. All right, so I wanted to add actually 3 more questions to this video because I just found them and I feel like we need them. So my first bonus question here is, what are some questions you can ask a blind person? And you know, these are like 3 sub-questions that I think are really important. Actually, one's not even a question, it's just another question that sighted people ask. But question number 1 is, you know, what are your conditions called? What is your vision like? How well do you see? They can try to explain it in the best possible way. But, you know, of course, it's kind of hard for us to say, you know, explain what our vision is, because to us, it's normal, but to you guys, it's gonna look crazy. Please don't ask to try on my glasses, because I don't want you to stretch out my temples with your big head.
Thank you.
I know you're just trying to see what it's like. That doesn't always work. So it doesn't account for, you know, my nystagmus, visual snow, all the fun stuff. Don't ask to try my glasses, please, or don't ask to use my cane or touch my guide dog, because that's rude and you don't want to distract my guide dog, and I do not want you breaking my cane on accident, because that's happened. It's not fun. You know, and another question that I get a lot personally is, Ellie, why do you wear glasses if you're visually impaired? That's a really good question. So with my vision, it's correctable to a certain point, meaning I can see a little bit better with the prescription that I have now. so I can at least have a little bit more of an advantage rather than me just not wearing glasses all the time. Like it being correctable up to a point, I'm still considered visually impaired. I still need to use my cane, but the glasses do help a bit, as well as, of course, wearing sunglasses and with that light sensitivity. And you know, I thought of this idea to really kind of help you guys imagine the scale and spectrum of visual impairment, and I'm really excited because I feel like this is such a creative idea. I thought of a way to explain blindness to everyone. I think that blindness is like the rainbow. So let's go ahead and get right into explaining that, because I'm way too excited to show it to you guys. All right, let's get into it. All right, so thinking about our traditional 6-color rainbow with our red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, we're gonna go ahead and start off with our red. You know, there are different shades of red too. So red, I think, in my mind, it represents the fully sighted 20/20 people who don't need glasses, contacts, or corrective surgery. And surprisingly, this only makes up about 35% of the population. So these are the really lucky people who were born blessed. But if you need that correction, that brings us into our next color. All right, so our next color in the rainbow is, of course, orange. And you know, orange, I'd like to think of people who need corrective lenses like glasses, contacts, or corrective surgery, but they're correctable to 20/20. And this is honestly the majority of the population, being at about 75%. And you know, it's really interesting, you know, most of the people fall into the orange tier. And like I said, there's different shades of the colors. So, you know, maybe some people are more that red orange, you know, everyone's favorite Crayola crayon, the red orange one. I think it's just called red orange, I'm not sure. But you know, maybe they're there. Or colorblind people, who I think should also fall under this tier, because you know, you can still have 20/20 vision with color blindness, but you know, your life is still generally affected by color blindness. I have a few friends who are colorblind. I was trying to point out a red car and they thought it was brown. I'm sorry, I thought you were colorblind, you know. We're not perfect. I accidentally forget some of my friends' vision sometime too, but let's strive to make it a little bit better, and let's look at our next tier. The color yellow is represented by people, you know, who wear glasses, but their vision's not fully correctable. And before you get into me, this stage is, I'd like to call them my blind babies, because you know, maybe they suffer from cane shame, which I'd like to call this the cane shame stage. Or you know, these are the people who think, you know, they don't need glasses. Maybe they don't want to pay for the price of an exam to pay for glasses, because you know, I get it. It is expensive to maintain your current prescription. And so these are the people who will go out without the accommodations that they need, like an updated prescription, their cane, because they're too ashamed to use it. And you know, this stage sadly can also be called the cane shame stage. But our next color is a bit more positive. Green. All right, so like my walls, like my ivy, like my plants, green is the stage for my visually impaired babies. These are people who might have monocular vision. You know, this is a visual acuity of 20/60 or greater. And you know, we actively use our accommodations, and we're striving to inspire others and normalize the inclusivity, and just, we're here. Guys, you can see us, we're here, but we can't really see you. But that's our green stage. And of course, you know, maybe I'm a lime green, maybe I'm a matcha green. I don't know what this green is. Matcha, tea green, green tea green, olive, I don't know. There's so many shades of every color, so you can find your own personal shade that represents you. So let's see the pretty blues. All right guys, so blue is a color I'd like to define as people who are legally blind, or people who have a visual acuity of 20/200 or greater. So these are the people who aren't quite in that purple tier, but these are my people who have light perception still, shapes, colors, shadow perception, a lot of vision still. It may be less, but you know, they have reduced visual fields, or even maybe visual snow and nystagmus. These are the people who are the blind people. these are the majority of people who are considered blind, but you know, they don't have absolute blindness, which is our next tier. All right, so speaking of purple, like my hair, that is a tier for people with absolute blindness, meaning no light perception at all, and that makes up only about 15% of all people who are blind. So, you know, if you are in this tier, you are such a rare color, but that does not mean you are less of a person for having absolute blindness. You are just as valid as everyone else on the color wheel. Like my hair, I really like purple. You know, a lot of people, you know, you are valued, but like I said, there's shades to every color here, and the color wheel would not be complete without you guys at purple, or without people like green or red or blue or orange or yellow. But you know, maybe we want to get rid of that yellow tier a little bit and move more people into the green tier who have fully accepted their visual impairment, or have kind of moved back up to that orange tier where they've corrected their vision. I hope you guys liked my color wheel. Maybe define yourself. You know, Zach, can you maybe tell me where you land on this color spectrum? Because, you know, I think you're maybe a turquoise, but let me know what you think, Zach.
That sounds about right.
Let me know what you guys think you're at. Tell me your shade. Tell me your specific color and that shade involved with it. Maybe if you think you're light green, dark green. Are you a blue? Are you transitioning into the purple? What's going on? Are you just the entire rainbow one day? Who knows? Maybe, you know, I could be a light green in the morning because I have better vision in the morning, and maybe I'm a darker green at night because my vision does get worse throughout the day. So just let me know what you guys think, you know, because I could be a blue at night. I have night blindness. So let me know what you guys think you are, because I want to know what you guys think about this and, you know, everything around it, because I was so excited that I thought of this idea and I thought it was so smart. Alright guys, so I really hope that my rainbow theory and kind of reaction to the Google questions, my rainbow theory kind of took over here, but this is something that's really cool to me. And you know, if you were directed to this video, I hope you went away with something kind of, I hope this opened your eyes. So you're not just thinking of that stereotypical blind person, but you're thinking about those people who maybe need large font, or those people who need Braille. You know, maybe there's some of us who just need a little bit of assistance, or some of us who, you know, we have learned dependency. So if you enjoyed it, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell icon for more of me in the future, so you can see my face and maybe more wacky ideas like this, because I really enjoyed filming this for you guys. So please subscribe and hang out for more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!